Good evening, friends. Dick Riculous here, reporting live for WBIGD TV. Today we're going to talk about another product. We're going to have Big D test and prove if it's true, if it's false, if it's right, if it's wrong, if the manufacturer's leading you down a path of destruction, if they're just plain out lying to you, lying to you, lying to you. We are here and we're going to report it, because that's what we do. Dick Riculous here, WBIGD TV.
What's going on, guys? Derek here from Wilson Audio Labs. Today we have a Mitzu 1600 watt amp. Yeah, boy, came across this one on eBay. It started off at like 30 bucks, and somebody kept bidding me up. I'm like, are you serious? You're really going to bid me up on this piece of junk? I ended up paying almost 70 bucks for it. Whoever I outbid, you're welcome. I saved you money. So according to the seller, it powered his subs for a couple years, performed flawlessly, worked great till the day he pulled it out. He's downsizing, using his head unit now instead. So seriously, I posted a picture of this amp on my Facebook channel, and I had some people respond that it looks a lot like a Crunch amp from the early 2000s, and this is Legends of Car Audio sent me this picture. It's actually a really cool looking amp with the VU meters and everything. But here it is, Mitzu. It says 1600 watts on the front. And then you can see here on the side it has RCA inputs, has a gain control, has high bass and high level input. And what is going on with this high bass? I have no idea. I've never heard of it called high bass. What do you say about that? High bass? What's up? How are you doing? Yeah, I know. Getting pretty bad here. Sorry.
You big dummy.
So on the opposite side of the amp, you can see there's a power LED, a fuse, the speaker outputs, and also the power and ground and remote. And everything is on the terminal strips. It has a 7.5 amp fuse. Yes, you heard me right, 7.5 amps. Let's do a little big dummy math. 7.5 amps times 15 volts, 112 watts is as much as we're going to get out of this amp, so nowhere near 1600, unless maybe the fuse is not wired in. Who knows? This is a flea market style amp, so who knows? But it did get quality control passed, just so you know. So now we'll check the dimensions, approximately 13 inches by 9 inches by 2 inches, and in metric terms, 330 millimeters by 230 millimeters by 50 millimeters or so. Might be off by a little bit, but you know, it's close. Now, we're going to show you the guts, but you're not going to be able to see it right now, so you're going to have to hold up. You can see it later. We're first off going to get this amp hooked up with the really nice Stinger RCAs. Hook up some 8 gauge, which is way overkill for this amp. Hook up the speaker connections here. Everything's easy to terminate. That's what I do like about these specific connections. Fire the amp up. Then we're going to fire up the amp dyno. Try out some RMS power output test. Are you ready? Can I say it again? Are you ready? All right, first up, 4 ohm test. Rated schmated. That's right, we have no idea what it's rated at 4 ohms. Let's try it certified. Here we go. And yeah.
Got him! Got him!
Yeah, that's right. This is literally the lowest powered amplifier I've ever tested. So uncertified test at 4 ohms, not much better here, friends. We barely got into double digits. 13 watts. Channel 1, 17 watts on channel 2. And we'll try a dynamic burst. Again, these are all 40 hertz test. Dynamic burst. Hold on to your hats or whatever you were holding on to. Yeah, 14 and 16. Yeah, it didn't even display on the amp meter there what the current pull was. Now just remember, we tested a $10 radio back in the day that actually did 10 watts per channel, just as a comparison. That thing was tiny. So now on to the 2 ohm test, rated Yo Mama. And let's try certified first. And look at this. It didn't even count up cleanly. It wouldn't even run cleanly at 2 ohms. The amp kind of kept shutting off, coming back on. So we got 7 watts and 9 watts. Yeah, just abysmal. I don't even know what to say. You guys know what the rest of this is going to be, right? It's going to kind of be a waste of your time, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. Uncertified up to the clipping point. Again, the amp cut off. Comes back on, says, I got a little bit more. I can do it. I can beat 10 watts per channel. And it almost did. Oh, it did. Look at that. Channel 2 getting 16 watts. Super power. Dimming the lights in the old school stereo labs. Dynamically, we'll send it a pulse. Oh, look at this. We got over 20 watts. Almost 30. 22 and 29 watts per channel. Now, just as a funny, I contacted the seller of the amp, and I was like, look, dude, there's no problems with the amp, but I did want to let you know this thing only does around 10 watts per channel. And I read your description, and it said you were using it for subwoofers. I'm like, what? Guy's like, yeah, that's cool. I know it wasn't near as good as one of your high-end amps, but it did okay. Granted, it was only pushing 8-inch subs. It actually sounded pretty decent. Lord have mercy. Now, I realize many of you probably have an idea of what's inside this amp. It's not going to be very much based on the power output tests that we did, but here is the top panel, and I didn't really weigh this for you, but it's really neat to see how heavy this top panel was. Added a lot of weight to the amp, but there you go. There it is.
Where's the beef? Hey, where's the beef? I don't think there's anybody back there.
All right, so here you can see all through the whole design here on this board, everything is spaced way out. It is an abysmal power amplifier. It's hard to even call it an amplifier. We call it a de-amplifier for this segment. But you can see it here. Yeah, it takes up a little bit more than half of the amp. And tiny, tiny capacitors. It has just tiny traces. I mean, there's a cap there. There's a little power supply, transformer. And there's this amplifier chip here. It is the TDA 8560Q, which is designed by Philips, and it says it's a BTL design 2x40 watts. Well, you know, we got nowhere near that. Well, let's try it with some speakers, see what it sounds like. All right, the thing I want you to watch here is how slow the woofer is moving. We call this damping factor, and this amp has a horrible control over the speaker. All right, didn't want to torture you anymore with that. So what's the good stuff about this amp? Well, the only things I can think of is it's unique and it's easy to make fun of. What could be better? Well, the ratings, obviously. High bass equals high distortion, doesn't have a crossover, no guts, no glory, friends laughing at you, grandma laughing at you, everybody laughing at you. Don't get this amp. Here's the results. Pause if you want to read it again and weep. It's pretty sad, my friends, that somebody actually bought this originally, and then I saved somebody else from buying it again. So you're welcome, whoever out there was trying to outbid me. Thanks as always for watching my YouTube channel, Wilson Audio Labs. You can check me out at patreon.com/oldschoolstereo. Help support me there. I appreciate you as always. Special thanks, Stuart, Travis, Jesus, Tomcat Jr. I'm out of here. All right, we're really stressing now. We're going to try 1 ohm dynamic burst at 1 kilohertz for the Mitzu. See what it does. Under 2 digits, 9 and 7 watts at 14.52. I just got in this amp. It's like literally the smallest amplifier I've ever seen. Taramps DS160X2. We're going to try this out forthcoming, so make sure you're subscribed. Big D signing out.